Have you guys tried Lawn Mowing Simulator at all yet? Because Kayla had said she was going to download it.
No, because she had asked me even if I had gotten it to download. No, I didn't get it to download.
All right. So I'm going to talk about it for just a second with you. And that is this. I did it. I did the review. It's coming out on Monday, as per requested repeatedly by the both of you. But because you guys requested it so much, I've never been so nervous to do a review. I actually went back to it after I had finished it all and added another little section because I didn't think it was in depth enough. But that's not what I want to tell you about. What I want to tell you about is something that didn't make the review just because I didn't have time and it didn't really make sense to the review part.
Okay.
But if you guys play it, make sure you get to the part where you can hire employees.
Okay.
Make sure you get to the part where you can hire employees. Because whenever that happens, you get to see like this screen with the employees. And then it'll say like their wage and their level and everything, but at the top of the screen, it just says these facts about them, but the facts are lunatic bananas, like absolute the craziest thing. It's one of the best parts of the game, but it's like I said, it's just not like statistically it doesn't make sense in the game anywhere. But like the first one I saw was like, thinks she was a gunslinger in a past life, doesn't take orders well, likes to be on time. Has cats like that, and they're all crazy. They're all crazy like that. Like one of them is like has been to space, believes he invented the internet. Like
what?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's totally fucking insane. If you make it, if you do decide to download that game, make sure you put in the time to get to that part because it is truly, truly rewarding just to like go to the members screen and read those.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good. It's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zach Wright with Old Man Gaming, and you have decided, for whatever reason, to listen to another Horrible Gaming Podcast. I am not alone. I am never alone. With me, not as always, but finally back in studio. Glad to have you back.
Finally back. Yes, Neil, A.K.A Tiny Wizard, after my long hiatus.
Yes, life got in the way. I mean, life got in the way. November is, November 2021 will go down in history as probably the worst month ever.
Yeah.
Ever. So.
Yeah, I can say that.
It's just
unequivocally.
Yeah. Same here. COVID and the other thing, it's pretty terrible. So, but we're glad to have you back, man. We really are.
Well, it is great to be back. It's kind of weird, actually. I mean, I was only gone for 2 weeks, and I've been doing this now on a regular basis for like 2+ years.
Yeah.
And I still was like, oh man, do I have to make sure I got my odds and ends? Like, okay, so what are we going to talk about? Right. And it's like,
it is weird when you get that week off, because we've taken them off because of the other things, but we'll have an interview in place, and I'm like, oh, Sunday, and I was like, oh no, wait, no, I don't have to do anything Sunday. But all right, well, let's get into the credits so we can get into the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, behind the fancy timestamps, you will see some graphics. Most of those graphics are ripped from the internet because I am a thief, but any of the custom original ones that were produced for the show were made by Mr. Mark Bell. We thank him for that. And then, of course, the theme song for this show and all of the shows here at OMG are provided by the man who makes the music, my brother, and we thank him for that, Nick Van Sliders. I almost didn't even say his name. That was terrible. All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us back to Fan Interaction, our most important and our first segment every show. That is where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. We read out your comments from the YouTube, from the Discord, from anywhere we can find them, Facebook and Twitter and whatever. And basically, we just read them out, we respond to them, we riff on them, we talk about them, and we use one of your comments as the talk down. So I'm going to get right into that comment first so that we can get it out of the way. Asylum66, new commenter to the show. First of all, Asylum66, thank you for commenting. Welcome. I think I know who you are, but I'm not going to make any, I'm not 100% positive. Nonetheless, thank you for watching, thank you for viewing, and thank you for commenting. Your comment was, how can you fix Avengers? I played the game and couldn't figure out what the hell was missing. You know what it's like to be playing a game and thinking, why am I not having fun? It has everything I would want in a game, parentheses, ignoring microtransactions. And I immediately responded to him and said, this might be our next talk down. And then you responded and said, glad you said it, because I was about to reply just now. I'm not going to lie, I made notes, Asylum. I've been waiting for this question. I'm going to tell you everything that could be fixed in Avengers to make it just amazing, in my opinion. So then we're moving on. And this was Zelen S. said, damn, I didn't even need to be there this week. C-Town basically said 90% of what I was going to say to everything. Laugh out loud. Thanks a lot for filling in. I don't know who that is or why he's pretending to be you, but...
I'm pretty sure this dude sounds like a classy motherfucker. I know that.
Yeah,
I know that
you think
for
so?
a fact. Yeah.
I think he kind of sounds like a know-it-all nerd, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I think that's part of the charm, though.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think that's a lot. That's a big part of the charm right there.
Okay.
Yes. C-Town. He did fucking phenomenal, man. Like 100%. Like he very entertaining stand-in.
Yeah.
I should have him on more, honestly.
I don't know about that.
No? What, you don't want to get he and I together talking too?
No,
all three of us?
No, you guys would be great. You guys would be great.
Soup?
I should just give you two the show and just fade into the background. Just like I've spent too many years in gaming journalism, so I just retire to the mountains. Whatever happened to that guy who started everything? Oh, I think he's got like a fucking apricot farm in the fucking mountains. Some shit. Grow a big beard. My wife would never let me. In any case, moving on, Jason commented, have you got all the basic tees and trucker hats yet? He's responding directly to State of Decay 2, and I don't think I do, man. I don't think I do. Then we're moving on to this one, which you guys are just ridiculous. Battle Royales are a type of MMO, though. No, they aren't. Zelen, I agree. He's technically correct. No, he's not. C-Town, see, Jason gets it. No, he doesn't. I said no to all of this. Zelen said, the tribe has spoken, my dude, laugh out loud. And I said the tribe is dumb. Okay, listen. You guys, whatever MMO stands for, don't matter anymore. No, you say that to anybody, that's not what it means. All of you know it. Sean pushed his glasses up his nose and decided to do a well actually, and you guys all decided to support it, even though it's stupid as shit. If I go out to anybody and say MMO to them, no one is going to think of fucking PUBG. Alright? Right? Done with that. You guys are ridiculous.
I mean, I get your point, but at the same time, MMOs stands for massive multiplayer online.
No.
I mean,
it's the same as games as service. If you want to do that, then none of the games you think are games as service are actually games as service, because games as service means subscription. It means a service. So, like, then you need to relook at that. And we talked about that months ago, about how games as service just isn't that anymore. It's taken on a new meaning. Same with MMO. So, sorry guys, never going to agree with this. It is not an MMO. Then Jason continues to say, Grounded's revamped character and gear systems are cool, but I don't been playing much because other games. Yeah, there are a lot of games just came out in the last 2 weeks, especially to Games Pass. Like, I think like fucking 10 games dropped into Games Pass in this last week. Have you noticed that, man?
Yeah, I saw that. There's
tons.
A lot of stuff came through. I mean, I feel the other games thing for sure. I mean, there's other stuff now that I have since, I guess since I was on last, I finished Metroid Dread. So
Congrats.
now, believe me, it was hard fought, but it was an excellent finish. But yeah, since I finished that, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? Especially because we have the looming release of Halo Infinite Wednesday. So
hashtag boycott Halo. I'm good.
Which I'm gonna be. I'm already preloaded, so I'm ready to go. But outside of that, I weirdly have slid back into Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing it constantly the past few days. But yeah, other games, man, I feel it. Other games.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little irritated because they all kind of dropped like right after our Games Awards, Like there's a lot of stuff that I've just tried for a couple of seconds just to see what it's like in the last week that I might have put on that list. Like Anvil really, really interests me. I only got to play it for 30 minutes, but it really interesting me. Lawn Mowing Simulator actually has me quite a bit, which just dropped in the Game Pass. And then plus that Gunk platformer, the Gunk, is coming to Xbox Game Pass Day 1 on the 16th. So a lot of stuff, plus a bunch of other older stuff dropped in there, like Stardew Valley and Final Fantasy, I don't know, X13-236 or whatever.
13-2. Yeah, I saw 13-2.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And Under Dungeon dropped in there earlier. It's been a lot of stuff in the Games Pass, so I get that. And Generation Zero, the robot fighting one that every market hated, also dropped in there. You know what else is coming to Games Pass, which I find interesting?
What?
That Aliens Fire Team that I was really excited about that's got no people.
Oh, really?
I'm kind of interested to see if that doesn't boost its numbers,
That just makes me so many questions as to the monetization model. Like how Game Pass pays these developers.
Yeah.
Is it like a point of desperation? Like, hey, I'm not making any more money. Let's sell the rights to put it on Game Pass to Microsoft? Or is it one of those things to where you go to Microsoft, say, hey, give us 10 cents for every hour played or some shit like that, and then go from there.
It seems
it's so bizarre.
Well, and what's weird is you just talked about the desperation, but there are a lot of games that are in no way, shape, or form desperate, who are very, very have tons of hype, and they go into it day one, i.e. Back 4 Blood. So tinfoil hat going on here. Microsoft has never, ever, they are very, very, very tight-lipped about how the money exchanges hands for what goes into Games Pass. We have, I'm kind of surprised it's never leaked, but nobody really knows, how that monetization works.
Right.
And I think the reason for that is it depends on the game. And they can do that. They don't have to, they don't have to have a strict monetization all the way across if nobody knows about it. So, what I think happens is they go, hey, Back 4 Blood's coming out. It's huge. We need to pay them a lot of money to get on Games Pass because that's going to be a big get for Games Pass. And then they also look at Aliens Fire Team and go, that game's desperate for anything. Let's just go bring them in because they'll do whatever we say. And I think the money depends on the popularity and hype around the game.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I'd be curious
to see.
Someday, one day, it's gonna get out, and I want to know what it is.
Right. Then finally, Jason finishes it off with, you can't help that. We're all nerds here. I'm a nerd. You're a nerd. Yes, we are all nerds here. Not arguing that at all. All right. And that's it for Fan Traction, unless you got anything to add.
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go into the talk down, which I am fucking hyped about because I can't wait to talk about this talk down. I've been waiting for somebody to ask this forever. All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the talk down. What is the talk down? Well, the talk down is we take one of the comments from our fine fans and we decide to branch it out into a bigger 10 to 15 minute rant, almost its own little separate talking point. As previously mentioned in Fan Interaction, our comment this week was from Asylum66. How can you fix the Avengers? I played the game, couldn't figure out what the hell I was missing. You know what it's like to be playing a game and thinking, why am I not having fun? It has everything I would want in this game, / ignoring microtransactions. Do you mind if I ran about this for like fucking ever, or do you have something to say and want to go first?
Zach, I wouldn't have it any other way. Please, the floor
Welcome
is
back.
yours.
Welcome back, Neil. I had to give all the opening rants to Sean last week because he's too much like me. So I was like, I know I got to give him the floor. I had to try and be you for a show. Didn't work out very well. Okay, so Asylum. Here's how I would fix the Avengers. Number one. Here's the biggest problem with Avengers, in my opinion, and that's the grinding. And I'm not talking about the base character grinding. I'm talking about the fact that they tell you can play it solo or online, which is really cool because you can actually fill out your team with 3 other members of the Avengers that you yourself have leveled up. But the problem is, you don't get any experience points for them if they're just in your team as AIs. You only get experience if you're playing them solo in a mission, which means your 120 hours of grinding to get one character up to a high level is quadrupled. On top of that, the higher level stuff is dependent on your character level. So you literally can't play it unless you find other people, and the other people were not great in the beginning, at the very least. Might be better now, but weren't great in the beginning. They would drop out, and then your AI would replace them. They would be underleveled, not be able to help you in any way, and you'd get beaten up. It was one of my biggest problems with that game, and one of the reasons I had to walk away was the grinding. And one of the biggest reasons the grinding is terrible, though, is not necessarily the amount of grinding that goes into it. It's what is presented in content. Now, I will say this. One of the slight problems of the game is the combat system, not because it's necessarily bad, but because you can get good at it and skillful at it, but also you can kind of button mash your way through it. So you need to have other elements that are really engaging, really bring you into it. Number one thing they screwed up was the perks. Basically, with this game, when you're leveling up, there's no build system. There's no diversity of build. There's no interesting thing. Kind of like Borderlands. That's how they should have done this. Instead, in this game, all you have to do is level your character to the highest level. You literally level up every one of their abilities. There is, I think, 3 abilities overall that you can toggle from like one to another, and that's it. What they should have done is have skill trees, dedicated skill trees to each character, which actually allowed you to kind of like have to make choices. Do I want my Captain America to be an up-close brawler? Do I want him to be like a leader from the back giving orders and buffs? Do I want him to be all about the shield? They should have made you make those choices, because if they had, you could spend your time leveling up and then making these different diverse builds and making it interesting. That would also go with the equipment system that they had in that you could kind of make it interesting. Instead, what they have is you get all the perks, so really you're just picking the best equipment that you could possibly have, because it doesn't really matter. You're just trying to buff yourself, and there's no real build system, which would have made it better. In addition to that, another big, huge problem is the actual content of the game. There's no enemy types. There's just the aim guys, over and over and over again, the aim types. Now, I think they may have added 1, maybe 2 enemy types with the War for Wakanda release. I have not played that. However, that's it. That's still mostly it. Let's face it, when this game launched, you should have been able to fight street punks in New York. You should have been able to fight AIM in dark laboratories. You should have been able to fight mutants in the Savage Land. That would have really brought players in and really made it interesting. Even with the combat system, you'd still be interested because you're constantly getting new terrain, new people to fight, and it's keeping you engaged, keeping you interesting, and making that grind more interesting. Which leads into my next point. The other thing that they don't have that they really needed to add was villains. This game is missing villains out the ass. Honestly, I would have been happier with less heroes and more villains, because you're not fighting the heroes, you're fighting the villains. The villains are what's making the level fun, not necessarily the heroes. You're only ever playing one hero. So I would have much rather had diverse villains all across the board, and I would have much rather had villain teams that you could take on, instead of just one big villain that you have to just wail on over and over and over again with huge health. Like Taskmaster. You're telling me Taskmaster takes Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, and Iron Man wailing on him for 30 straight minutes to take him down. That's not the way it is. It would have been much more interesting if Taskmaster was buffing a team of other characters, such as Abomination and other things, and they gave them more of a realistic stat outburst instead of just making these big damage soakers, basically. If you had done that, if you had done all those things, this game would have made you engaged, it would have brought you in, and it would have kept you there for the grind. And I think the biggest problem with this game is the people who were making it, and this could have been a translation later down the road by Square Enix, or a different change by the publisher, or like it started as a narrative and ended as a games as service. Who knows? The problem is they made this too much like a narrative-driven story game with a games as service tacked on at the end, instead of just leaning into games as service and trying to make a good games as service game. They should have taken their notes from all other good games as service games and put it here, and that would have allowed them to actually present a good game. There's one other thing that I'd like them to change, but I don't think they could have changed this, just because the microtransactions have to be cosmetically based for the most part, just because you get shit anytime it's something else. So they really should have made it that the equipment you got changed your appearance. That would have made things really cool too, because not only would you have the build on the stats part, but you would have had this interesting build in how you looked physically. And so the equipment itself should have actually had some sort of visible change. Obviously, I don't think they did that because of the microtransactions. Like I said, if you do anything other than cosmetic microtransactions nowadays, you get shit, and they were already getting shit, so I don't think that they could make it that way, so because they need to get the cosmetic stuff from the microtransaction. But that is how I would fix the Avengers. Neil, anything to add?
No, and it's kind of weird that like something like a game as service that you and I are pretty much diametrically opposed on. Mm-hmm. I think you hit on a lot of the stuff that I was gonna say. Like,
sure.
I feel like, as somebody who only played the closed beta whenever that game was, before the game came out, rather.
Right.
I got limited hands-on, but from what I have seen so far of this game is it's very much the entire story of this game is reacting to bad decisions. Mm-hmm. And they never once, I don't think, had a proper vision. So like you had mentioned, there's the story single player stuff, but there's the game of service part. They wanted you. I don't feel like they really executed, and I mean, whether or not it can be done is up for debate, but to execute a story, a single player story that is at the end of it, once you finish that, opens up to be a multiplayer game of service, that doesn't really jive, because you're playing to one side or another. You can't have, unless you release two separate games, you can't have it all be like, you can't mush those two together and have them come apart clean.
Well, and
get some crossover. Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, you can get some crossover with it. Like, yeah, sure, like you're building your character as you're playing through the single player, and then afterwards you take them into that multiplayer part at the end. But the single player is just the warm up, like trial run practice mode for the multiplayer at the end, and I don't think, at least in a game like this, it works. And not even just that, you look at stuff like, you guys touched on this already, the Spider-Man stuff that came out. There was no extra story stuff with it, and what I think is they might have had an extra few story missions originally in the works, but they caught so much shit for Spider-Man being an exclusive on the PlayStation, they dumped it. Yeah. Because it's just reacting to things. When they changed the grind to make the game grindier was still beyond me. Still beyond me.
Yeah, biggest complaint when you lean into it. Yeah.
like it's been all reacting. Their battle pass sort of thing that they were doing, the character pass, however they called it, for leveling up the characters. It was all time locked, and they eventually like changed it to where you could technically get it for free. I don't remember exactly how it worked, but the whole game, I don't think the game itself was quote unquote so bad. Yes, the game was not great overall, but I think the choices that they made are what really did it. And to change what would need to be changed is to do like a Avengers Next situation. Go back to the drawing board and revamp your systems and add like a big story thing.
I think I agree with most of your points. I do think that the narrative was great in that original game. Like it really was. It was one of the best parts of the original game, and I actually think the game itself is fun and playable. It's good. It's a good base game. It's just they never. What you were saying about the reaction, I'm gonna lean even more into that. I feel like they never really decided their direction and went with it. Like, yeah. If you want to make a games as service, I don't think any subject matter is removed from games as service. I've almost thought of doing a show where I just take franchises that already exist or games that already exist and just like explain how you could make a games as service out that successful. Like, I don't think anything's off limits for games as service. I think the reason it goes bad is because you never committed to games as service and you never really committed to that narrative. If the game, I mean, on the other side of the games as service, if the game had ended where the story ended, it would have been a fine game. Everybody would have liked it. Nobody would have hated it. It would have been fine. It would have been an 8-hour game. People would have loved it. It'd be about the same as Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you'd have to add like a few hours of story, which would have been fine since the story itself didn't really end in a conclusion. But everybody likes Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a very similar gameplay model than that. It's just they narratively focus that instead of what they did with Avengers. But they never committed to the narrative. They never committed to the games of service. Like, on the other side, the games of service would be fine. A games of service with Avengers, Marvel property characters would be awesome. That's why I wanted it. I loved the idea of it, but there wasn't enough to do because you only ever committed to the one bad guy type and the 3 bad guys that you meet in the game. Like, there was no post-launch bad guy content or scenery. It was like 5 sceneries, and that was it. And that's the problem. You never committed to that games of service. You never committed to the narration, and you just get stuck in this limbo zone where neither part is really great. You know, it's fine, but it's not great. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go, Asylum. That's how I'd fix Avengers. I don't know.
Less suck.
Yeah, less suck. I don't know. I don't even know if I'd say less suck. I'd say more good. Because I still don't think that game sucks. I could pick it up right now and have fun with it. So I don't think it sucks. But, like, it's like, not the right kind of good, you know?
I think it's, if I personally were to sum it up in one single word, I think it would be identity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Just get an identity.
You know what? If that's your word, my word would be diversity. Like, more stuff. Yeah. You know? Like, more things. Make a more diverse world. Make a more interesting world. Like, that's what I want. That's what keeps me grinding. If I'm grinding, I need... Like, Warframe has just hundreds of places to go, and a lot of them look very different than the other one, and tons of different bad guys, you know? Like, make the stuff that I'm taking on, keep me engaged that way, you know? Yeah. All right, so that's our thoughts. Let us know, Asylum, if you agree or you don't agree. We'd love to hear from you again. And that's the talk down. We're going to go to our talking point, which is a little bit fun today. So, yeah, we'll get into it.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Alright, so that brings us to our talking point today, and news is a little bit slow. Everybody's waiting for Keeley's Fuckfest, so we are going to do something a little bit more fun. Xbox has released this interesting thing. You can check it out online. It's called museum.xbox.com, and it's basically, once you get there, you log in excuse me, guys, sorry. You log in with your Microsoft account, and then once you're in, it basically can tell you everything you've ever done, like your game score, your titles played, your number of achievements, the whole 9 yards, from what I can understand. So Neil had a good idea of us just kind of exploring our personal history, yeah, like through it. I don't know. I think this is a really good idea. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with Gamerscore. Neil, what's your Gamerscore, man?
All right. My gamer score is currently at 24,591.
Noob numbers. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they're noob numbers. They are absolutely noob numbers.
Mine is so much higher than that. I'm almost ashamed. Like I'm
like
out of pride in
something?
it. I'm at 72,577.
Holy shit ass. Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, you were a little bit more diverse on consoles than I was for my console days, you know? Like, I'm in the PC mode now, but, like, I played everything just about on Xbox. Like, that's where I played just about everything. Like, I got into Switch a couple years ago, and then that's it. So, that's where I play video games, 72,000. All right, so we're going to go to number of titles played then?
Yeah, we'll go to number of titles played. So, I've played 199 games.
Oh my god. I'm going to kill you, like, numbers-wise. Like, not it's a contest, but I mean, my numbers are... I have played 379 different titles on the Xbox.
Oh my god.
And I think this is between 360 and the One.
This is for everything. I've already perused this a little bit.
They can't manage your
everything.
They can't manage your OG because that was before live, really.
Well, they can track the original Xbox, but like I run into an issue with this is I had an original Xbox and I played Halo 2 on it a lot. However, I never connected it to the internet.
Yeah, see, neither did I. So I never had Xbox Live on that OG, and I never connected it to the internet. So I doubt it's gonna like register all the hours I put into Fable. Or Fable. Well, Fable 2 was on 360, but that was the game that I bought with my 360 for the first time. All right, so number of achievements earned is next up, I think, right?
Yeah. So what do you have? I'm sure it's like 17,000 or something.
It's not 17,000. 3,593 achievements.
Yeah, 1,288. I got little baby numbers.
Compared to me,
tiny baby
it's gonna look bad. But again, in fairness, like until the last 2 years, I would say 100% of my gaming was done on the Xbox. You know. I mean, after PlayStation 2, you know.
Yeah, you know, from what I noticed of this little museum thing, the first few are just kind of like total number of X, and then it starts getting into a little bit more interesting stuff.
No, that's fine.
Further down the line.
I'm already having fun with this. Like, I'm already having fun with this.
So, I didn't know you didn't know about this.
Well, I didn't know about the museum. Like I said, every year they'd send me an email, and then if you clicked on it, it would tell you like your yearly stats, like what was your favorite game this year, what was the amount of hours you played, like stuff like that. And I always liked looking at that. I didn't know there was like an actual, like they had put together an actual just like online interface, you know?
Yeah. All right, so I guess moving along then to number of rare achievements.
What's yours?
361.
1,547.
Claim. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's really weird about the rare achievements though is it only figures those based off of the percentage of people who have done the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
it's less than 10%.
Yeah, if you start blasting through a game when it first comes out, you can get like normal story missions and stuff like that in games as rare achievements.
I mean, I would say the normal story missions are rare to get as rare achievements because usually when you're buying the game, everybody else does and everybody else gets it just as fast, and it's very hard to get those. You can, but it's hard. You are right though. Like if you play the game first and a lot, you get a couple extra rare achievements than other people do.
That was like when I was playing through Undertale on Game Pass. When I was playing through Undertale on Game Pass, the first like 3 areas, I got rare achievements for getting through it. Wow, I stumbled over my
talking.
That was a lot of talking. I do that
talking.
A lot anymore.
That was about 12 more words than you needed.
Yeah. But yeah, I was getting rare achievements for just playing through the game like normal. Because everyone and their mother, if you've played Undertale, you're playing Undertale, you've done it already. So people don't really do that. I think it was with when Kayla and I had gone through all of the Halo games. When we played through, it was Halo 2 or 3, the campaign. A lot of the campaign missions came across as rare achievements for us.
The thing that's weird, that I always like about PC gaming, it's the thing that I miss the most is the achievements. And they still kind of have them on Steam, but they're not as like, you don't get that. I love when I'm playing a game and you get that little doot and it comes up at the bottom and it's like achievement unlocked. I love that. I absolutely love that. You don't really get that in PC gaming. You do still get it on the Game Pass thing, which I appreciate, but overall, like, I would say that's the thing I miss the most, especially since because it's in all these different places, like getting it in Steam doesn't really matter because it's not helping an overall gamer score. But I used to be just so proud of that gamer score, and if anything I miss from PC gaming, it's like my gamer score going up, which it really didn't this year, which is our next segment, if I recall. If I'm in the right place.
And let's see. Right now, it's got it broken down for your gamer score through the years,
starting in 2017.
Yes, from 2017. So what year is your lowest score?
This year.
This year? Yeah,
this year.
Same here.
Yeah.
Mine's 696 for this year.
Yeah.
I've got.
I got the PC in, I think, September of last year. So, like, I had that amount of time on Xbox, and then I switched to PC, and I haven't played anything on my Xbox since then. Like, my Xbox has been very unused. So like, I have gotten gamer score through Game Pass, but like, when you get diverse on it, you know what I mean? When you start to break it up, like, you don't get as much in one place, so I just don't get as much on Game Pass as I used to, you know?
So I'm looking at my gamer score through the years with these 4 years, and what I find just wild is... So I'm looking at 2021 is my lowest. I got 696 this year. But my highest was last year in 2020. Really? Yeah, 3,145.
That's your highest?
That's my highest in a single year.
Okay.
But what's also crazy too is like I can see when I got like our PS4 and Switch because in 2018 and 2019, 2018 is my second lowest with 756, and 2019 is 955. So back into 2017 was my second highest at 2,136. So there's a very clear window of, hey, I have other things. I'm going to do those.
So your highest was what?
My highest was last year at 3,145 for the entire year.
Do you want to know what my lowest was?
What is your lowest?
3,540.
Fucking hell.
So do you want
That's this year. That's right. You said, yeah.
It's this year, because I play a lot of stuff on Game Pass still, so I'm still racking up achievements, just not as fast. Okay, so you went through your years. Here's my years. 2017, 9,140. Oh, God. 2018, it dropped off a bit. I'm not exactly sure why, but it did. 5,095. Then 2019 is my highest with 12,859.
Wow.
And then 2020 is my second lowest because, you know, I got the PC at the end of it, 6,871.
Wow.
Yeah.
My one.
I didn't
buddy,
realize we were going to have that much of a difference, honestly.
I didn't think. I knew there was going to be a bit of a difference because, like you had said, like you had your Xbox One pretty much, and that was it. And like I had the PS4, and then I got my Switch shortly after that, so I had other things. So like I knew there was going to be a bit of a difference. I didn't think that I could very clearly see in 2018 and 2019 that I barely did anything on the Xbox at all.
Yeah. It's sorry. I did not mean to do this.
No, that's fine. No, this was my idea.
I'm guessing the next one says for you the same as me, which is first console played 360.
Yes. Yeah.
I am going to put my tinfoil hat on in the next one, but so I'll let you say something first.
Yeah, so with the Xbox 360, I mean, I knew that was a thing that because that was the first one that I got online for.
Right.
And I had the original Xbox, but like I said, I only played like Halo 2 on it. I played Halo 2, I had a Tron game, and I think that was really it. My original Xbox, I bought it just because I got a deal on it. And I think the majority of what I did was, because this was a thing that you could do back in the day, is I just put a bunch of music CDs in it and copy the music onto the hard drive and just use it to play music.
Yeah.
Later in life, I found out that you can turn them into emulators, which would have been great. But yeah, 360 is my first one. So what's your tinfoil hat on the next one?
The next one says one of the first games played, and it says Halo 3. And I'm like, this is kind of bullshit, because the absolute first game I played on Halo was Fable 2. I bought it with the console, because I bought the one that didn't come with a game, the arcade edition that was just like the total broken down, like $199 one. Yeah. And I bought Fable with it, and that was the first game I played. If I recall correctly, I took off work to play it. Like, I played that game for like a whole day straight, but for some reason it says one of the first games played is Halo 3, and I feel like anybody who goes in here, it's going to be Halo 3, and it's like, if they played Halo 3 at all in the first year, we're going to put Halo up because Halo's about to come out. So, it's my tinfoil hat on that one. That's a little obnoxious to me.
Yeah, well... Yeah, I'm looking at it because mine tracks for this one, but the next one it is where it kind of fits for me for the issue that you just came across. So, like for this one of the first games you played, mine is Street Fighter 4. I know that was because that was the first game that I bought for my Xbox 360.
Nice.
Because I was playing that online before I got anything else. And then, like I said, the next one, we do one of the multiplayer games that you played.
Okay.
Mine says Halo 4. Yeah, Halo 4 is one of the ones that I played, but technically Street Fighter 4 is a multiplayer game,
right? And
it was the first one that I played.
Yeah, so, I feel like they stuck in like like they found a way to get Halo in there somewhere. Like, hey, Halo! You played Halo. Halo's coming out.
Halo dominates a lot of my stuff in here because it really is. I barely play any multiplayer games on the Xbox, but like I still have been like even now logging into Halo Infinite like once every 2 days at least and doing like an hour and a half of multiplayer on there.
Right.
But yeah, I do think it's strange that they word it like one of the first games.
Yeah. And it says do you want to know my multiplayer, which is really fucking strange?
What?
One of the first multiplayer games you played, Red Dead Redemption. Yes, it did have a multiplayer mode. I never played it. I only ever played the real game. How crazy is that?
Yeah, and
it's weird, right?
Yeah, and I wish too, like they had more information on these cards.
Yeah,
like if
so
you
do
could
I.
click on it and flip it over
Yeah.
and see, like oh, it's
Oh yeah,
this is the breakdown of other things.
while we've been talking, I've been trying to like click on things and run into them and stuff like that.
Run into it,
like,
around it.
I want more information. More. Give me more. All right. First sign on to Xbox Live, 2/19/2010. When was yours?
So mine was December 3rd. Actually, an anniversary, pretty much. December 3rd, 2009.
Nice.
And I'm trying to think, because that had to have been, that was when I was in college the first time round. So I logged in, but I didn't like actively have, because I don't think I had even purchased my Xbox at this point. I don't think I bought my Xbox 360 until that summer.
Right.
So the first login of each console is
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 2019-2010, obviously, but then Xbox One was 10/02 of 2015. And what's interesting is because my wife, so she gave me my Xbox One, and she was so like didn't want to get the wrong thing, didn't quite understand what was going on, so she literally she got this box that was an Xbox sized box. She wrapped it like a present, but inside she just bought like, I think it was like $300 worth of GameStop gift cards, like enough to buy an Xbox One refurbished.
Okay.
And she just put it in there and then wrapped this giant box. So I thought I was unwrapping an Xbox, and I was just unwrapping this box, and I was like, maybe I got pants or something. And then I opened it, and it was the gift cards that I needed to buy it. She was real slick with that.
So she got you a pile of gift cards?
Yeah, it was a pile of gift cards. It was a pile of gift cards that equaled enough to go buy a refurbished one. And she gave it to me like late on my birthday, so we couldn't even go to GameStop. It was hilarious. Like, she was like, "Here you go," and I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she was like, "Yep, you can get one tomorrow. Now let's watch TV." So like then we went out the next day and bought one. But yeah,
that's fun. But like, the poor worker over at GameStop had to scan this fistful of gift cards. Like, you just have them in a Walmart bag and slam them down on the counter. Like, I want one Xbox, please.
It was, yeah, that's true. It was at least like, I want to say it was at least 4 of them, because the gift card had a max at the time or something. So
yeah,
it was fun. It was fun.
So my first login of each console, the Xbox 360, it coincided with my first sign in to Live, 12/3/2009. But I know, like I said, I know for a fact that it was before that,
right?
From playing in college, and then the Xbox One was March 17th. 2014, and I remember that was my buddy Henry brought his Xbox over, and he forced me to play that horrible Evil Within game. That's a horror game that's just nightmare bad game design. I was just so angry the whole time because he had access to the Halo 5 beta that was going on at that point in time. I was like, "Hey man, how about we do this instead?" He said, No, you'll play this game and you'll like it." I'm like, and then Xbox Series X/S, I mean, I got mine August 21st of this year. The next one is a weird category too. First play of most played game.
Yeah. And it doesn't say the game either, which really bugs me. But, well, I guess it does say most played later, I guess, but most played game, it does say it later. Okay, so that makes sense. Got it now. Now I figured out. They just put it in a weird order, I guess.
Yeah, they really did. I don't know why it is they did it like that. But yeah, we'll cover that when we get over to that one. um, First game per console. So, like I said, Street Fighter 4 was the one. Like I already knew that. I forgot about the Xbox One because my first game that I played on the Xbox One was Titanfall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and that is a very not you game.
No, it's not. The only reason I played it was because, again, my buddy Henry, he had got his Xbox One, and we were visiting down in Kentucky, and he was like, hey, look what I have. Here, play this game, because it was all he had. And I'm like, next-gen game, sure. And I played. I mean, I don't remember anything about it. I remember playing, and that is it. And
really?
Then, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it didn't leave much of an impression on me, honestly. And then the Series X was Halo 5 Guardians. That was the first game that I put in the Halo. So what about you? What were your first games per console?
So weirdly, mine says the first game was Halo 3. So I'm wondering if, like, I bought the system and because I knew other guys with 360s who played Halo online. Maybe I bought the system and they loaned me a copy and I played with them the first time.
Yeah.
But that's weird because I know the first game I bought was Fable 2. So, like, I'm very surprised that would be listed as my first game. But first game on Xbox One was Mad Max, weirdly enough. And I'm going to tell you guys out there, underrated game. Absolutely fun, start to finish. Love that game. Loved that game. Definitely underrated. It got a lot of shit, and it shouldn't have. In my opinion. It's a great game.
So, first regular achievement.
I don't like this, because why don't they list the game? Because, here's the thing. I was looking them up while we were talking, just because I went up a little bit and looked them up, and Graduate is actually an achievement from Halo 3. Which so that corroborates the story that maybe I did play Halo 3 first and just don't remember. But and it's something about like a multiplayer game, so maybe that's what actually happened. Like I probably like bought the system, went over to somebody's house, plugged it in for the first time, loaded up Halo 3, played with them, took it home, or something like that. But first rare achievement is there's no place like home. And oh wait, hold on. Maybe I typed it in wrong. But that brings up like 3 different achievements. I'm going to look again here.
So while you're looking, I know my first achievement is
it says it's Amazon Instant Video, which it can't possibly be that. That's not a rare achievement. You just get it for logging on to Amazon.
So rare achievement, my rare achievement is my first rare achievement is bizarre.
Is what?
It's bizarre. So again, like I said, Titanfall was like the first. It was the first game that I played on Xbox One. My rare achievement is from Titanfall. My first rare achievement is from Titanfall. It's like a vacation, and I'm like, what in the world is that achievement? So I Googled it, and it is just complete the training mode. That's all it is. That's all it is. I did nothing.
That's interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. What was your normal achievement?
First victory in Street Fighter 4.
Oh, okay.
So it's just your first win online.
Gotcha. All right, so let's get into the fun stuff real quick before we wrap this thing up. And mine are real fucking weird. Real fucking weird in some places. So, most played game. You want me to go first or you want to go first?
You go first. We'll start in, what do you want to start in 2017?
Yeah, that's where 2017, okay. For Honor Standard Edition. Fuck yeah! Great multiplayer versus. Still love that game.
Halo 5 Guardians for me.
All right, that tracks. That tracks.
What about your 2018?
Monster Hunter World.
All right. 2018 for me was Fallout 4. Nice. I was late to Fallout. And that's when I remember that's when I bought Fallout 4, and that's when I had played it.
Fallout 4 is fun. I like
Yeah.
Fallout 4. It's underrated Fallout. People bitch about it, but I like it. All right, so 2019, Monster Hunter World. You go.
2019 for me was Borderlands 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, 2020, Monster Hunter World.
2020 was stolen from me, actually. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, 2020 was stolen. No, I didn't get this one. I didn't do this one. Kayla did this one.
Oh, I see. It was stolen, not the game stolen. It was stolen.
No, it was stolen away from me. So Kayla's likes 2 Point Hospital.
Oh, that game's so awesome.
So for her to play it, I had to be signed in.
Oh.
So she played more 2 Point Hospital in 2020 than I played of any other game.
That's hysterical. So 2021, it's not Monster Hunter World because obviously I have the PC now. It's WWE 2K19, and the reason is OMGW. All of my recording is done through that platform, so all video game play is basically that on that system.
Mine, I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I played the betas more than anything else, but the Halo Infinite Insider. So the two betas that they had of the Halo Infinite multiplayer for 2021 that's where those showed up. I'm surprised that the regular Halo Infinite multiplayer hasn't gone beyond that, unless the fact that it's still technically in beta is superseding that.
I'm not sure.
So, most played game ever on Xbox console.
I think you can call which one mine is going to be. I think you might know by now, since 3 of my years were the game, and that would be Monster Hunter World. And Monster Hunter World is what it's so weird because I'd never played a Monster Hunter game before. I was never gonna play Monster Hunter World. Like I was like, oh, another Monster Hunter game, whatever. Wasn't interested in it. Didn't have like a game on my radar. Saw IGN's review of it, 9 out of 10, and just saw what the game was, and I was like, man, I really kind of want to try that. So I decided to purchase it, and it was one of the greatest investments I have. I've actually bought it twice now over the course of the game. Like it's amazing. It's still, and I'm positive that if I bought it on PC and I went back to it, I'd get just as into it as I was before. That game, in my opinion, is a perfect game. It's absolutely perfect game. It's just, I don't know how they even replicate it. It's a perfect game from start to finish.
It's bizarre to me. Like, I would have thought that Skyrim would have been your most played.
So that is weird because I did play a lot of Skyrim on the 360, but the problem is that I don't think they count both of them because I played a lot of Skyrim on 360, but then the 360 version didn't go over to Xbox One, and I had to buy it eventually on Xbox One again. So I don't think that they actually have it on my top 5 most played games, but I don't think that they actually translate to both of them, which is really strange to me. So, like, Skyrim is probably up there, but Monster Hunter World was just like, I think Monster Hunter World would beat Skyrim because Monster Hunter World was like, every time I logged on, I played for at least 4 hours, and it was just a grind every time. Like, I was playing, I had to play that again, and then I did the whole show with Phil, so I played through the whole game again. And then I played through it all again when I got Iceborne. So I've played through that whole game 4 times, plus done all the end level stuff. It was just, that game is perfect. I'll play it anytime, anywhere. It's a great game. What was yours, man?
Halo Reach.
There it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is unsurprising to me at all.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I'm actually just going to segue right into my top 5 most played.
Sure, go for it. These are weird, though. I have some problems with these.
Not... I don't think this is ranked. I think this is just the 5 most.
My problem is the genre, and I'll explain when I go into mine, but you do yours first.
So, my first 3 on this list are Halo. Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo Reach. And then behind it is Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. And pulling up the rear is Skyrim.
Okay, all right. Those are cool. Those are cool. That's a lot. Those are cool. All right, so mine, it starts with RPG Borderlands 2. Okay, I guess. I wouldn't really call that an RPG. But then it says Shooter Borderlands 3. Okay, why is Borderlands 3 a different genre than Borderlands 2? But all right. Then it says RPG For Honor Standard Edition. RPG For Honor is not an RPG. It is the furthest thing from an RPG that you can get, with the exception of the fact that there's swords in it. That's it. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. Then Action Adventure Monster Hunter World, that makes sense, and then RPG Skyrim. So, those are mine. Most rare achievements. I've already looked up a couple of these.
I'm in the process of looking mine up.
In 2017, I got Wildcard, which was a Forza one, Forza 3. 2018, Loyalty and Righteousness, which is For Honor if you like level up one of your Wulin heroes to high. Then there's one that's called Grenade Guru. I need to find out what that is. Grenade. Oh, and that's Anthem. Nice. Of course, that's rare. Nobody played it. You got it from like completing 3 grenade or laser challenges. Then 2020 is I Call Shotgun, which I don't know what that is either. Sorry for the cough, guys. It just stays with me, no matter what I do. I Call Shotgun is Anthem. Complete 3 shotgun trades. I loved Anthem. I played a lot of Anthem. I wish that hadn't gone away. And then 2021 is Waypoint, which I don't know what that is. Waypoint, which is Halo Master Chief. This is because of you. Unlock Halo. Beat the part-time on the Ark. So there you go.
So yeah, I got through mine. Yeah, Waypoint. Waypoint.
Was it your rarest too in 2021?
It's 21. Yeah.
We got that together.
Yeah.
Aw.
So. And then Kayla and I got the one for 2020. It's I Like Crazy.
Nice.
There's a Rampant Cortana toy in High Charity in Halo 2 on the Master Chief Collection. It's on top of a building. I found that accidentally too. I wasn't even looking for it. I was just being a doof and climbing on top of stuff, and I find this thing and I get an achievement for it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Argent Fiend. Argent Fiend is from Doom. Full upgrade health, armor, and ammo capacity in a single campaign run.
Nice.
As well as in the previous year in 2018, the Circle is Complete. I got all the runes for their like character modifications for Doom. And then the one from 2017 is kind of weird. I didn't realize it was a rare thing because I've done this in Sonic games in the past, but it's Collect 'em All. There's a boss in there that makes like Eggman be like a gotcha machine. You jump up and it just lets out little baby Robotniks flying around, but he's only got a certain number of them. If you let them all out before you try to start actually attacking him, you get a rare achievement for that.
Nice.
I've done that in all of those sorts of games. I don't know why that's a rare achievement, but
nice.
I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Did you go through yours?
Yeah, I did, man. I went through
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, and then at the end of it, they give you a cute little roundup that kind of sums
You
everything
can
up.
share with your friends and family so that they know how much you ignored them to play video games.
I'm looking at this. I see the Rock's stupid face presenting shit in the corner. In Xbox City is the only thing that I can call this place.
Xbox City. I like that. All right, I think that's it, right? You want to go to odds and ends? That was fun.
Sure.
I like that one of our rarest achievements is a weird connection, honestly.
Yeah.
It makes me less unhappy that a Master Chief Collection is one of my rarest achievements.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Pause. All right. Doing good. Okay. So let's hit odds and ends and get the fuck out of here.
Alrighty. Let me pull up my odds and ends and see how many I have.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
You have
3. Oh, man.
I have 7.
Wow.
But there's some that are from previous weeks.
Okay.
The one, and a lot of them are just kind of like half of them at least are just like kind of whatever. 2 of them connect. So
okay. Well, let me just do mine then, because maybe mine cross off a couple of yours, and then you can
possibly.
Just do yours.
And then I know there's one that we're gonna have a conversation about.
All right. Okay, going in 3, 2, 1. All right, so that brings us to our last segment, and that is odds and ends. Basically, we collect all the smaller news stories that don't necessarily deserve a full talking point, but we still want to let you guys know about them, riff about them, say something about them, and we collect them here. Sorry, guys, I cannot shake this cough. I apologize. So I have 3. Neil has 7, so I'm just gonna get through mine in the hopes that some of them take it off Neil's list. So let's start with Steam Deck has announced that they are not going to do any Steam has announced it's not going to do any exclusive titles for Steam Deck. In fairness, I don't think anybody expected exclusive titles for Steam Deck. I certainly didn't. But anytime anything says no exclusives, I get a little bit happier because exclusive sucks in gaming. I'm completely against it, regardless of the company. So I don't know. I felt like it needed a mention.
Yeah, I think it would have been dumb if they had a Steam Deck exclusive.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's dumb anytime somebody has an exclusive. Period. It's dumb. Exclusives are dumb. Next one up. Okay, so. I'll save that one to end because that's going to be a little bit. We'll probably talk about that. It's a hot sec. So Take-Two Interactive has hit It Takes Two with a lawsuit. They've served Jose Ferris with a lawsuit, and this is some bullshit. Basically, what Take-Two does is they just basically go around trademarking and copyrighting anything related to their games, but way more so, like the words Rockstar.
No, you're not about to say what I think you're about to say.
Yeah, Takes Two. Take Two.
God.
Yeah, so they've served them with a lawsuit, like stuff like that, and it's real bad though, because aside from the fact that I think that It Takes Two and has EA behind it, so this is not going to be something that I think Jose Ferris will be just fine in the situation. The bigger problem here is Take-Two Media basically forces smaller companies to change names and stuff because they don't have the money to fight them. And they go after all sorts of people, like crazy, like people who like write a book that's like live like a rock star, and it'll be like a motivational book, and they go after them. Like, I mean, it's getting ridiculous, and somebody needs to stop them.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Trademarking words, like the fact that somebody out there actually owns the Happy Birthday song. It's just
right.
Fucking stupid.
It is. It's dumb. Like, stop doing that shit. It's just ridiculous. I like, if somebody's actually copying your shit, fine, go after them. But like trademarking the word Rockstar should be illegal. I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
My final one is a little bit of a big one. So basically, we all know what's going on with Activision right now. Jeff Keighley was asked about what they're going to do at the Game Awards about the Activision situation. At first, he said, we're going to have to wait and see how it develops. I have to really consider things, yada, 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 which, let's face it, didn't look good at all. Then he waited almost a week with all this stuff going on to then finally say Activision Blizzard will not be involved with the Game Awards outside of the awards that they've been nominated for. And I just want to say, Keighley took way too long to do that. Not only that, he did not, here's the big thing, he did not condemn any of the harassment or workplace sexual misconduct in the first message either. He waited the week and then decided to condemn that when he said they won't be in. And a lot of, I mean, at least me, I'm like, why did it take you that long, dude? I mean, sexual misconduct is bad, period, you know?
Yeah, it took them way too long.
Way too long.
Way too long.
And in this current climate, you can't have a sentence where you're like, I've got to do research to figure out if I should be upset with the sexual misconduct. You know what I mean? Like, that's not an acceptable segue. That's not an acceptable segue. It just isn't.
And to touch a little bit back on what you guys were talking about with them last week and the fact that the big three have all made statements about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be clear. They haven't formally made statements. They're like leaked internal memos that just so happen to make it to the press. They're not official statements because they're all doing business with Activision. They know that eventually this is going to either get taken care of, LOL JK, or it's going to be forgotten and we're going to move on. And at that point, it's going to be business as usual. And they can't be on record as saying anything against Activision Blizzard, anything like that. So
I think
they took their stand without taking a stand.
I think, personally, I'm going to say it again. I said it last week. I think this is CYA. I think purposely, whenever they were handing those memos out, they said to somebody and was like, leak that. Because then we've leaked it. It's an internal memo. So if Activision comes to us and says, hey, what the fuck? They could say, hey, it was an internal memo. It got leaked. We're not saying anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like they CYA, they covered their ass from top to bottom so that they don't look like they're in with Activision while still being able to occupy the same bed as Activision. It's not enough, okay? It's not enough. And here's my thing. I wouldn't fault any of them for just not doing anything. Like, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't necessarily be anything. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have mattered to me one way or the other. But this, to me, feels like purposeful and directed PR management. And that pisses me off. Like, either get involved or stay the fuck out of it. Don't pussyfoot around it like this just to say, like, well, I didn't like what was happening. You know? Like, it's bullshit. Like, either get involved or keep walking. You know?
Well, you know, because we're on the subject, and like I had mentioned before, the two
like
of
I said, I
these
knew this
that
was
I
going to bring
have-
us a little bit far.
Yeah, two of the odds and ends that I have are kind of related to this whole situation. Cool. So, I mean, now Bobby Kotick is getting pull from other boards of different things because of all of this. Because I found out that Bobby Kotick is on a board of directors for Coca-Cola. And there is a conservative political group called National Legal and Policy Center, and they are calling for Bobby Kotick to be pulled off of that board.
Good.
So now by association, essentially, Coca-Cola is getting pressure put on them because of this. And
Coca-Cola will pull him. Coca-Cola doesn't give a fuck. I don't think Coca-Cola is going to have any problem pulling him. I think Activision has a problem because he's insulated himself in such a way that the entire company is him, basically.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that insulation.
Sure.
You're setting up these segues perfectly.
That's good. I'm here to help.
He's got all of his friends on the board of directors. Well, treasurers from 6 states, Nevada, Oregon, California, Massachusetts, Illinois, and Delaware, have all sent a joint letter to Activision requesting a meeting with the board over the scandal at the developer. The states have investments in these companies for pensions and stuff like that, from what I understand. It's uncertain as to how much they have in these investments.
Right.
However, the Illinois state treasurer basically said that they don't think that the board is going to take actions necessary to fix the problems. So they're going to have a meeting with the board, and if they don't like the answer, they may try to rally the shareholders to replace the board.
Right. Which is what needs to happen.
Yes.
I mean, if the board did not immediately remove Bobby Kotick when they found out that he was well aware of the sexual misconduct, again, the problem that we have with this company, and I'm not saying that we don't have problems with unfair wages or crunch, but the real problem here is this dude willingly allowed basic human rights to be violated. Like, sexual misconduct. Like, if they are not going to remove him when we find out he willingly and was willing and complicit in those acts, then they're not going to remove him. You're going to have to put guns to their heads. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if that isn't a deal breaker for them, then nothing is going to be a deal breaker for them, you know?
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, Bobby Kotick could walk into the boardroom and shoot somebody in the fucking head, and they probably wouldn't remove him. Like,
no.
It's just, I mean, it's like, they're like OCCP from RoboCop. Like, it's insane. All right, continue. Sorry. Went on a little rant there.
Well, that's it. That's it for the Activision Bobby Kotick news for this week.
I like
that. Stay
Stay
tuned, because I'm sure there'll be more.
This is why I said before we got on, this is just the angry me hating.
There actually was more. I didn't write it down in my odds and ends. I read it earlier. There's apparently plans to drop a bunch of QA testers in the new year after the earnings statements come out.
Sure.
Because they've had a record year, and they already have enough bad press.
Yep.
So they plan on laying off a bunch more people to, artificially inflate that growth and profits for the companies.
Hey,
so
you know what? Go the distance, Activision. Why don't you guys drag some baby seals out into the middle of the street, just beat them on camera on your local news, half to death, looking in the camera, and just be like, "What's it gonna take, motherfuckers? We could do this all day. I'm untouchable." Like, because they are. Like, at this point, like, fucking just do whatever you want. Fuck, man.
Right. So moving on to other things.
Thank you. Please. Can we please? I'm just gonna get worse on this, and I don't want to be like screaming at my computer, waking my kid up. So let's move on from those fuckers.
All right. Well, here's another one from
Sean wanted to talk about it last week, and I got literally a single tear rolled down my cheek.
So, some Google Stadia news, and how to get Google Stadia for super cheap. Apparently, for the second anniversary of the service, they were selling the premier version of Google Stadia for $22.22. And they apparently didn't sell that many of them at that price point, because they kept the price from then all the way through Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which was about roughly a month.
You know what? I will give Google Stadia this, and this alone. It is the only next-gen system you are able to get right now.
That's true. You're not wrong.
Hey, man.
You are not wrong. It's if they made that their marketing, though.
That's what I would do.
Running ads, be like, can't get an Xbox, can't get a PlayStation.
Right?
Well, boy, do we have the thing for you.
We got this piece of shit.
Controller.
It's just a controller. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, hell, that's the only fucking next-gen system you can get. You want to play the next-gen exclusives? Buy a fucking Stadia. That's about it, man. Or get yourself a PC. You can't! You can't get yourself a PC.
No, unless you buy a pre-built.
Yeah, you're fucked. If you're fucked for trying, man. Have a nice Christmas. That's funny.
So
That's what Stadia should do, man. If Stadia just rework their shit,
would be brilliant marketing.
That would be brilliant marketing. They're the only fucking one you can get.
You can at least trick people into buying it. Shit.
Google exists. Google Stadia. We exist.
We exist, and we are currently real.
That's right. Right. Scalpers don't know what to do with us.
So, moving on, Square Enix is selling a chess set that was featured in Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, if you've played the game, you already know what this chess set looks like. It's just a very bizarre chess set, but it looks kind of cool. And when the game came out, everybody was like, hey, that would be cool to be a real chess set. Well, guess what? It is. And guess also what? It's $700.
What?
And guess also what? On top of that, it doesn't come with instructions. Now, if you know how to play chess, you know how to play chess. You don't need instructions.
Well,
but, it'd be nice to have them come with them.
In fairness, if you're buying a $700 chess set, you better know how to play chess. Like, what the fuck if you don't? Like, if you're buying that and you're going, what is chess? Then you're making a terrible mistake with your life.
I will do you one better on top of that.
Okay.
One better. So, you can't even play chess with it because the one set of pieces, every single piece is completely different. So there's nothing to distinguish anything from like the rooks, the bishops, the knights, anything like the pawns, anything like that.
What?
All of the pieces for the one side are completely different. So it is literally just a decoration.
Okay. All right. I can't. I'm so glad I didn't see this news story before. No, I'm not. I wish I had never heard of this. I wish I didn't know about this. This is a level of human stupidity that I don't know if I can. Oh man, it's not even. I know. No, you're gonna have to just move on. Just move on.
All right. Well,
if I say anything about this, it's gonna be an hour and a half. So just fucking go.
So what's really bizarre with my next one? I wrote this odd and end before we recorded this. For some reason, we've been talking about Titanfall a lot this episode. And here's another odd and end regarding Titanfall. Titanfall is going to be pulled from digital storefronts March 1st, 2022. So you will not be able to buy that game digitally anymore. You can still get physical versions. It is unclear as to whether or not the servers are going offline for it. At this point, I'm more so lambasted that I don't even know how I've managed to talk about Titanfall 3 times now for a game that I like. I've maybe put a grand total of an hour into my entire life.
It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. It's priceless.
So moving on.
Yeah.
Got two more.
Okay.
So Game Pass subscribers are going to be getting extra Halo Infinite perks such as XP boosts and weapon and armor coatings. And it's a good thing that they are doing this because if anyone has been paying attention to the news at all about the multiplayer in Halo Infinite, it has been a two-sided story. It has been one of the gameplay and how it feels is fantastic. There's barely any bugs or glitches. It plays great. However, the other side of the coin, they're having a lot of issues with the battle pass, progression, unlocking, lots of complaints from players, the community, everything like that, for how they are doling out stuff and what they are charging in their microtransactions. From what I understand, because I don't go into that storefront, apparently you can buy the armor sets on sale in the storefront, but if you were to buy a full set, it would cost you $25 to $28.
No.
Yeah, so that's a huge no-no.
And this is a Halo multiplayer?
And this is the Halo multiplayer, and they have like their events. They had the Tenrai, I believe I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but the Tenrai event where you get that samurai armor. They had that running for, I believe it was a week, but they capped the number of things that you could do in it, the amount of XP you could get and challenges you can complete daily and weekly. So it limited you. So it was basically you had to play the game in an intelligent way to do the stuff, to like time it out so you could get all the stuff within the amount of time that it was available. And yeah, people were not happy. They have not been happy. Microsoft has since, or 343 has since come through and said, oh, we're going to be making updates to it. And they've been hiding behind the, well, it's technically in beta excuse. So yeah, it's so weird that the game feels so good to play, but the second you get into that whole game as service thing, like with microtransactions and battle passes and stuff like that, I don't care what my Spartan looks like.
Right.
Because I don't see him until I die.
Right.
Like, I don't care.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
I do like cosmetic stuff, though, and I still think just because... Right, I think just because somebody doesn't like it... I mean, it's good on you for not going in the storefront, but this is a big deal for other people in a real shady way that they're handing it out. And honestly, look, I have problems with Halo. Everybody who listens to this podcast regularly knows I have serious problems with the way that 343 has done Halo Infinite. Like, serious problems, from the delays to the shitty quality of workmanship to hacking it up and selling it into pieces. But what I don't like, too, is they got a 9 out of 10 from IGN and most places for the core mechanics, which are good. I'm not going to say they're not good. They're good Halo stuff. But, like, to not even consider all this, like, heaped on microtransaction bullshit, and the way they do their battle pass system is just a fucking farce. Like, that kind of stuff is a little frustrating. I feel like it should be lower because those things are so big to people, and nobody is really, like, considering those things. You know, like, great the shooting's there, great the actual play is there, but this kind of extra stuff is what makes a multiplayer game in 2021, you know?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I really feel like it's like when they gave fucking Cyberpunk a 9 out of 10. And we all saw what happened there. And it just, I mean, I'm glad people are enjoying it. I don't want anybody to not have fun, but I think people should be much more pissed off about the way that they have presented stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing that I really care about with customization is weapon skins, which are their own thing. But at the same time, I also have the best weapon skin in existence because I bought that Halo assault rifle Nerf gun. So there's also that.
That's funny. Still, though, just because you're not into the customization, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like...
There is a problem there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge problem.
Of course, it would be nice to have, access to different things, but boy, they really do. Unless you shell out money, they stonewall you like crazy in your progress to get anything.
Yeah.
Like they'll give you like an emblem every like 7 levels, and then finally I guess we'll give you like one single shoulder pad, I guess.
And the way you have to get those levels with their challenge system is a fucking nightmare.
Challenge system is the biggest issue that I have. Like if it was performance based, they've since added it to where you get flat XP for just completing a match anyways, which is fine,
but you just get it for the one match.
I think it's for every match.
Oh, is it for every match? Okay.
Yeah,
because the last time I heard, it was like they added a daily that you could get experience for a match, but a daily is once a day. You know?
Right. I believe it's every match. I haven't played since they've made the update, so I don't know for certain.
Right.
But when you put the XP behind challenges, that makes people play the game differently.
Yeah.
And that right there, that's when the cosmetic side of shit starts getting into the gameplay side of shit.
Yep.
And that's when it starts getting skeezy and it actually starts affecting you.
I think you're 100% right. And I think I think these are things that long-term multiplayers need for survival, and Halo is 100% a long-term multiplayer sort of situation. And I think when the not nostalgia, but like the novelty of Halo coming out with a good multiplayer wears off, people are going to see, well, I've played all these matches, but I still can't get anything. There's going to be problem for 343 in the future. Just my opinion.
So last one, and this one will be a little interesting, I think.
Okay.
Rumors are PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now are going to be merging into a completely new service to take on Games Pass, set to launch spring 2022. I think the only way that this new service could actually pose a threat to Game Pass is if they put day one titles in there.
Yeah.
It's the only way they're going to do it. And they have already said, we are straight up not doing that. So
that's a mistake.
If they want to merge the two services together, if they want to make PlayStation Now a part of PlayStation Plus, and that's fine. But if they think that they're going to have that be an actual competition for Game Pass, because Game Pass's biggest draw, I don't even think it's the amount of games that they have in there, which is a huge draw. Their biggest draw is day one AAA stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first Halo game I've not bought because of Game Pass.
Right. Same here. The last 4 or 5 games that I wanted to get that were AAA, it got announced a month later that they were going into Games Pass first thing. I haven't spent money on a game in months. I think you're 100% right. I think that look, we've been in this position before with Netflix and Blockbuster, and you saw that Netflix dominated it, but Netflix is not the only streaming service anymore. Once Netflix got in there, then you had stuff start to spring up and stuff to start to do other streaming and start to take some stuff away from Netflix, and now you have streaming all over the place. Game Pass was the first to do it with games. Great. They are by no means going to be the last to do it by Game Pass. I think that's another reason that Xbox has not released how they do their monetization of that service, because they don't want people to be able to duplicate the magic that they got there. But that doesn't mean people won't. But that being said, if you want to compete with the beast that is Game Pass, you need 3 things. Obviously, you need a subscription service where you don't have to pay for the games, but you pay for the subscription service, and it has to be relatively low price. You need day one, not necessarily exclusive titles, but day one AAA titles to go into there that you get for free. Well, not for free, but for the subscription price. And you need to put it on PC. 2 of those things PlayStation is incredibly resistant to. So I have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to compete with Game Pass. I am by no means saying Game Pass is immortal. There will be a competitor for it. Mark my words. There will be many competitors for it before our lives run out. But if you want to compete with it, you need those 3 things. You need them 100%. And PlayStation is already saying we're not going to commit the day ones. Well, then, what are we even talking about? What?
But that is it. That is all of my odds and ends.
Yay! We got through it pretty fast. We were pointed.
Yeah.
We were well about it. We did it. We were knowledgeable. I think those were good. I think it was good.
Excellent.
I mean, as good as a horrible podcast could possibly be, but
not too good.
I don't want to have to start calling this the kind of good podcast.
Kind of okay.
The kind of okay gaming podcast. No, I don't want to.
Kind of okay podcast.
Yeah. All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show. Shameless self-promotion that comes with it. Neil, do you have anything specific you want to promote?
All right, so I think we're actually finally for real going to be able to do Halo Infinite Road.
I think so too.
It's finally going to be a thing. I am mad that we're going to be doing it when I could be playing Halo Infinite instead. Because of when we will be recording it.
Okay.
But basically, when did we originally say it was going to be what?
Oh, a while ago.
It was going to be like it was like almost the end of October when we said that we were going to be premiering the next season.
November was Ivan Dragoff. We were Apollo Creed, and we got our asses beaten to death. Like, that's just the way it was. Like, there's no way around it.
As we've kind of alluded to a little bit, I now have a new job, of which I am actually starting tomorrow. And my schedule is going to be a lot more conducive to all of this stuff. So outside of emergencies / special situations,
very excited.
Never get in front of this. I mentioned this to you when we were speaking the other day.
Yes.
That this is one of the first things I thought of whenever I got this job officially.
And I went out of my way.
New job. Oh my God, Zach is gonna be so fucking excited.
I went out of my way to not say it was because of the podcast too. Like, you said it to me, and the first thing I thought was, "Thank fucking God." But outwardly, I was like, "That's great, man. It's good for you. It's good for the family." I am in no way selfishly speaking right now to you. It's great. I am gonna say right now though that if you ever go back to Ruby Tuesday, you will no longer be on the show because I will fucking stab you in the throat. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, and Halo will be returning. I think we're going to try and record this Wednesday and start the season 5, I think. And that's what we're on, right? Season 5? Season 5.
Hey, you can't yell at me anymore because I got confused about it last time. You were like, we talk about this all the time.
It's season 5. Yeah, but we haven't talked about it in like three weeks.
That's true. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, in fairness. So we will be back with that. I do want to say the Horrible Game Awards are coming up in December. We're not exactly sure which podcast it will replace. We'll have some celebrity presenters on. Celebrity meaning wonderful people from our community to present. But if you're listening to this, voting is closed. So we've got we're calculating and putting the show together, and we're really excited about that. I think that's all I'm going to plug right now. Oh, no, wait. I do want to plug one other thing. Coming at some point in December, I think maybe this week when this goes up, me and Phil have been really trying to figure out how to do the 330 show, just because we've both changed as people, and we tried to do games after Borderlands and never really had that magic. So I think what we're going to try and do is just do a monthly stream as the 330 stream, and one of us will play and stream on YouTube, the other one will play and stream on Twitch, so you'll be able to see both of our point of views if you wish it, or just pick one of us or the other, whatever you want to do. But it'll be interesting because it'll be like a co-stream sort of thing, and we're just going to pick a multiplayer game, play it, and then maybe switch up the game every time. We don't know. So watch out for that. We should be starting in December if everything goes right. Other than that, guys, you can contact us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH, on Twitter at OldManGaming9. You can join the Discord. Links in the description below. Influence this and all of our shows from there. Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/OldManGamingDH. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. See you guys next week. We are done, sir.
Haru.
Little bit of a long show, but not too bad.
I kind of figured it was going to be longer, especially because I was all pent up because I've been 2 weeks without. So
I'm pent up. I need to get my podcast shit. I need to yell into the mic. If I get more than 4 odds and ends, I get basically talking blue balls.
Talking blue balls.